Have you ever wondered how the world's worst humanitarian crisis unfolded in Yemen? It's a tangled web of conflict, politics, and human suffering that has left millions in dire straits. At the heart of the crisis, we find the Houthi rebel movement, a group that seized control of northern Yemen in 2014, leading to a civil war that has since spiraled into a regional conflict. Enter Saudi Arabia, a key player in this crisis, backing the Yemeni government against the Houthis. The kingdom's involvement has been marked by a significant shift in its defense strategy, with reports suggesting a potential purchase of French Dassault Rafale fighters, a move that could signal dissatisfaction with traditional defense partners like the US and the UK. Meanwhile, international powers are not simply watching from the sidelines. The US and British militaries recently struck Houthi sites in Yemen, a retaliation for Houthi attacks on international maritime vessels. These strikes, targeting over 60 sites including command and control nodes and munitions depots, have brought a new dimension to the crisis. As we peel back the layers of this complex situation, we begin to understand the gravity of the crisis in Yemen. International politics often play a key role in regional conflicts, but how exactly are they influencing the crisis in Yemen? Let's start with Saudi Arabia, traditionally reliant on the US and UK for its air force, now considering a significant shift. Reports suggest they may purchase between 100 to 200 French Dassault Rafale fighters. This potential move comes as the US and other nations hint at a future where they may not provide military equipment to Riyadh. Subtle changes are also seen in the strength of US-Saudi relations, making the US a less expansive defense partner. This could increase the appeal of weapons from other countries for Saudi Arabia. Adding another layer to this complex situation is a recent retaliatory strike by the US and UK on Iranian-backed Houthi sites in Yemen. This strike, the first US military response to ongoing drone and missile attacks on commercial ships, has received international support and condemnation in equal measure. These shifts in alliances and the strategic interests of international powers are reshaping the Yemen crisis. As Saudi Arabia considers diversifying its defense sector and as Western powers retaliate against Houthi aggression, the implications for Yemen and its people remain uncertain. International powers, with their shifting alliances and strategic interests, continue to shape the course of the Yemen crisis. With the situation in Yemen at a critical juncture, what does the future hold for this war-torn nation? The potential outcomes of the Yemen crisis are as intricate and complex as the conflict itself. A key factor to keep an eye on is Saudi Arabia's potential arms deal with France. This unprecedented move could signal a shift in alliances with implications not just for Yemen, but for wider Middle East geopolitics. Meanwhile, the retaliatory strike by the US and UK complicates matters further. While it's a response to Houthi attacks on international maritime vessels, it also highlights the precarious balance of power in the region. This could either lead to an escalation in hostilities or, conversely, serve as a wake-up call for all parties involved to seek a peaceful resolution. The humanitarian implications of the crisis remain pressing. Yemen's citizens have borne the brunt of the conflict, suffering from food shortages, disease, and displacement. A peaceful resolution is urgently needed, but achieving this will require careful diplomacy, compromise, and a commitment to human rights. As the world watches, Yemen stands at a crossroads. The decisions made by international powers in the coming months could determine the fate of millions.